likes the miracle stories. You don't get miracles without Yirat Shamayim. You don't get miracles without putting your actual life on the line, Mesirut Nefesh, for Kvod Torah. Sacrificing yourself for the honor of the Torah. There's no miracles without it. That's what people fail to understand. People think, oh no, I'm gonna go to this rabbi. He's this, he's that. He's okay. What? Why is he special? What did he do that's so special? Oh, he wrote a book. So what? Many people wrote books. Oh, he has the yeshiva. So what? Many people have yeshiva. So what? What's the big deal about him? Did he sacrifice himself? Did he do anything special? What's special about him? If you don't know, then you have to ask. You can't just automatically assume certain things. Now, I know, for example, somebody asked me the other day about Rabbi Pinto. Rabbi Yisrael Pinto. And Shichyeh. And a lot of people always ask, how did he succeed? Shtabach Shemolad. I mean, aside from the kaparat avonot that he's dealing with health and law and so on, his Irgun succeeded in a big way. My Rav told me once, he said, I've always asked myself, everybody has certain siyata dishmaya to succeed, but how did he succeed? There's always a reason. There's always like one thing that you did that's it. Mesirut nefesh. What'd you do? Studying, a lot of people study. Read, a lot of people read. Write, a lot of people write. All these things people do. What was your Mesirut Nefesh? Someone came and said one time, I'm not jealous of the Rabbi Yosef Karo that he wrote the Shulchan Aruch. I'm jealous of the mitzvah that he did before he wrote the Shulchan Aruch to know how he got the merit to write the Shulchan Aruch. You have to do something. You don't just one day, I'm going to write Shulchan Aruch. That all of Am Yisrael is going to abide by this book, that's the law. Just because, you have a brain? A lot of people have a brain. Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael is very smart. What'd you do? What's the Mesirut Nefesh? You should know, Rav Pinto, Shichyeh, if you're learning from him directly, it's a different story. If you're learning from somebody else that says he's connected to him, I can't vouch for that. I can say him himself, when he first started, before he was the famous Rabbi Pinto, before anybody knew who he was, he started a little kollel, a few people, and one day he didn't have money. Why didn't he have money? He didn't have money to pay the students, pay the avrechim. He came to his wife and said, okay, we're putting our house for sale. Why? To pay the avrechim. That's Mesirut Nefesh, Rabotai. You can put your house on sale to pay avrechim. Most people just say avrechim, I'm sorry, I can't pay you. I'll come up with the money, I'll pay you down the road, but I can't continue this. You're not going to sell your house. You're not going to sell your house for strange people. It's not your kids. Strange people. Or at least, listen, I don't have the money, I'll go borrow, I'll go this, I'll go do something. I don't have it now. No, sold the house. That's Mesirut Nefesh. People have no concept of what Mesirut Nefesh means. People think that just because they got a flat tire, that's Mesirut Nefesh. Or because they gave $100 tzedakah out of their $5,000 salary, that's Mesirut Nefesh. Mesirut Nefesh is mamash putting your life on the line. Making yourself uncomfortable. I always told people in the business world, if you ever want to succeed, already make it a rule. In order to be comfortable, you must become uncomfortable. If you want to be comfortable, you have to be willing to become uncomfortable first. If you're looking to be comfortable, you'll never be comfortable. You have to be willing to take risks. So, the Baba Sali was willing to put everything on the line. Rabbi Shlomkin Mizvil, 100 years ago, Rav Shlomo Goldman was the fourth Admor of the Chassidut Zvil. This is a ish kadosh that ran away from kavod in any way, shape, or form. One time, there was a famous drunk, non-Jewish drunk in the area, in Zvil, that broke into a Jewish house on Friday night. Broke into the house, saw that there's chalot, there's wine, helped himself. Started eating the chalot, started drinking the wine. As you would have it, he choked on the challah and died. The Baal Habayit, Rabbi Yitzchak, came to the house after Bekneset, and he couldn't open the door because this drunk Stefan was blocking the door. The body was blocking the door. After him and his wife pushed the door really, really hard, they open the door, Shem and Achem, they see a dead body in the house. Now, it's not like today somebody in America sees a dead body in the house, they call 911, they come, they investigate, it's not you, there's DNA, there's private investigator, Salah Shalom, good luck, we're sorry to disturb you, we're sorry you had, they tell you, we're sorry you have a dead body in your house. We're sorry that they tell you it's karma. They blame karma for it. Oh, see, he stole from you. See, karma killed him, whoever karma is. Fine. In those days, it wasn't like this, Rabotai. You guys are living in Gan Eden. We're living in Gan Eden right now. We have religious freedom. We could say what we want. You could talk against the government if you want. You could do whatever you want. Back then, if a Jew had a non-Jew die even next to him, immediately they blame all the Jewish people, they start killing Jews. Kal v'chomer, needless to say, if the non-Jew is dead in the house. Say, see, blood libels they called it. You see, the Jews are killing the non-Jews again so they can use their blood for their matzah. That's what they must think. This is a legitimate thought. People to this day believe this. It's not like from 100,000 years ago. So right now they believe it, right now. Today, it's not as it was back then. But back then, Rabbi Yitzchak saw a dead body in his house. He said, Hashem Erachem, all of Am Yisrael that lives over here is in danger. Forget about me and my wife. Am Yisrael is in danger. He goes and he runs to the Rav's house. Rav Shlomkin, Am Yisrael is in danger. Friday night, Kvod Rav, we need your help. Kvod Rav, we need your help. No, makara, what do you want? What happened? Kvod Rav, Stefan's in my house. He's dead. The famous drunk, he's dead in my house. Without thinking twice, the Rav says, 1 second. He goes to his bowl of cholent, takes a spoon, takes some cholent out, he gives it to Rav Yitzchak, says, go feed him. No, Kvod Rav, he's dead. Exact, go feed him. No, Kvod Rav, you're not understanding. He died, so he can't eat. Do what I said. What do? You ask him again. He didn't ask. He said, okay, twice is enough. He left, he goes to his house. Now Stefan's mouth closed. Now once a dead person closes their mouth, generally their whole body changes. Once a person dies, Hashem Erachem, the body becomes like a mamash stone. So to open his mouth was not so easy. Finally he opens his mouth. Finally he gets to a point, he says, Stefan, open your mouth already. Stefan opens his mouth. He puts the spoon of the Rebbe's cholent. He sees Stefan get up, not say anything, walk away. He starts following him. He says, what's going on over here? He starts following him. Where's he going? He goes back to wherever he came from and dies. Dies. But he doesn't die in a Jewish home. As soon as this story happened, Rabbi Shlomkin left Zvil and went to Eretz Yisrael and stayed there for the rest of his life. Because he knew that after such a story, you would get too much kavod. You get too much honor. So much honor that he ran away from it. Miracles he could perform. Honor he couldn't deal with. Now people love such stories. That's why they think today there's maybe some rabbis in the world that can make such miracles. I'm sure there is, but we don't know who they are. But what people don't like to hear about is how do you get to that level? Okay, nice. Thank you very much for a nice story. Some people believe it. Some people don't believe it. It's their problem. I don't care about what people believe or don't believe. It makes no difference to me. This is a story. You want to believe, believe. You don't believe, don't believe. Question is, how do you get there? Is it, oh, it's nice stories. Baba Sali loved everyone? No. He told everyone, you go to public school, you're dead. What about him? One time, Rabbi Shlomkin saw that people were getting too secular. Why were they getting too secular? Because the Keilah was controlled by rich people. So he said, from now on, anyone who's a Mechalel Shabbat or has a child that's a Mechalel Shabbat is not allowed to get Aliyah in our Knesset. No more Aliyot. You want to come pray, pray. But you cannot get an Aliyah if you have a Mechalel Shabbat in your house. Even if you're yourself keeping Shabbat, you have a son that's not keeping Shabbat, you have a daughter that's not keeping Shabbat, you cannot get an Aliyah in our Knesset. Why? It's your fault. It's your fault your son or daughter is a Mechalel Shabbat. It's not their fault. They saw from you that sports are number one, so they've made sports number one on Shabbat. They saw from you that business is number one, so they made business on Shabbat. They saw from you that Hashem is not important, so Hashem is not important anytime, so Hashem is not important on Shabbat either. The child is a replica of the parents. That's just the reality. You want to have good kids? Work on your midot. You want to have little Hitlers? Don't work on your midot. That's the way it is. People are convinced, no, I have bad kids. No, you're a bad parent. I have bad kids. No, the kids are a replica of you. Just look in the mirror, that's the kid. You scream, they scream. You're angry, they're angry. You're cheap, they're cheap. You are their role model. Every normal child, until they get to adulthood, their only opinion are going to be, what does Abba and Ima think? If they see the rabbi of the school taking his job seriously, they're going to like it. But if they come home and they see Abba and Ima not taking the Torah seriously, they're going to say, the rabbi's a fool. The rabbi's a fool. He's just doing it because of his job. He's just doing it because he's making money. He's not doing it because he really believes. Because if he really believed, if what he was saying was true, then of course Ima and Abba would do it also. There's no way that Ima and Abba are making a mistake. There's no way that Ima and Abba are not taking God seriously if God was really serious. There's no way. There's no way that the rabbi knows, but Ima and Abba don't know. There's no way. So the kid is always going to follow Ima and Abba. If you're sending a kid to yeshiva, but at home he's secular, you might as well don't send him anywhere. It's the same thing. In fact, it may be worse. It may be worse. Why? Because kids that go to schools, where the school is a yeshiva and the house is secular, many times from my experience, I've seen them become kufrim gmurim. They become heretics completely. Why? Because now they think of Judaism as a complete joke. At least the kid that went to public school and his parents were public and the school was public, it was the same. No one knows, no one cares. When he saw religious people, yeah, it's okay, they're different people, whatever they are. There's no connection, but he has no disrespect to them most of the time. The ones that go off the derech and become real heretics are the ones that had mix. They had a mix. So parents are always surprised, I have bad kids. You don't have bad kids, you're bad. You're a parent, you're bad. It's your fault. As hard as it is to hear, it's a reality. It's a reality. This is why when someone came to Rav Ovadia, a couple came to Rav Ovadia right after they had a kid, said, Kvod Rav, we need parent advice, how to be good parents. The rabbi says, Alav Shalom, you're late. No, Kvod Rav, the kid was just born 2 months ago. With Brit Milah, this, that, the other thing, Baruch Hashem. He's only 2 months old. He goes, yeah, exactly, you're late. No, Kvod Rav, He was born 2 months ago. No, maybe the rabbi is old. He doesn't hear well. He was just born 2 months ago for the Rav. He says, exactly, you're 20 years late. Why 20 years late for the Rav? Why? Why 20 years late? First, you want to be a good parent, you have to educate yourself. You want your kids to love Hashem, you have to educate yourself first. You can't expect your kids to do something you're not willing to do. You can't expect your kids to be modest if you're walking around with a mini skirt. Or with tight clothes that everyone knows the skin doesn't tell the difference between your skin and the clothes. You cannot expect your kids to love Hashem when all you talk about is business at home. You cannot expect your kids to care about Torah when all you talk about is the entrepreneurs of the world and who's on the news and who's the president and who's running next and the Democrats and the Republicans and this one and that one and all this shtuyot of this world. And once in a blue moon on Friday, it's like you're doing God a favor. Son, give us a Dvar Torah. And even when he's telling you the Dvar Torah, you're not really listening. But you want to look good to the guests that your kid said a Dvar Torah. It's mamash a joke. People fool themselves. And then they're surprised when we see in the parasha Hashem says he killed 80% of Am Yisrael. Oh, maybe you're machmir, maybe you're stringent. I never heard this before. You had bad teachers then. What can I tell you? It's not my fault you didn't hear it before. It's what it says. Look at Rashi. It's not some Kabbalah. Look at Rashi. Everyone likes, but I like the Kabbalah stuff. I like the mystical stuff. So there's a story, Rabotai. It's going to put all this Kabbalah nonsense that people fool themselves with to rest, hopefully, if they understand the meaning of the story. The entire Kabbalah, the entire mystical aspect of the Torah, from that section of the Torah, from the Zohar Kadosh, comes from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, 2,500 years ago. Now, we didn't really understand much until the Arizal came. The Arizal came and he gave us, mamash, uncovered, he took the veil off and gave us amazing chidushim. He had some students and he asked the students, go give me the Kabbalah commentary on the Gemara. Now the Gemara itself has an enormous amount of mystical parts. To write commentary on the Kabbalah, on the Gemara is an extraordinary thing to do. He tells the students, I want commentary on the Gemara. They come back with 10 volumes of books just on a couple of Masechtot. Not on the whole Gemara. The whole Gemara would have been a library. Just 10 huge books, 10 volumes, just on a couple of Masechtot. Couple of tractates. He says, we think somebody's going to read all this? No, you got to minimize it. So people are going to read it. People are going to see it. They're going to read 10 volumes. For every 2 Masechtot, you're going to have 10 volumes. No one's going to read it. The real genius is to say the most amount of information in the least amount of words. That's the definition of genius. That's how you know if someone is smart. In today's books, by the way, as you know, all these fiction, non-fiction, this book, that book, it's all shtuyot. Why? The entire book can be written in 3 pages. The whole book can be written in 3 pages. Why do they sell you 500 pages? Why is it 500? Because you're not going to pay $20 for 500 pages, for 3 pages. But for 500 pages, it looks chashuv. It looks important. Wow, it must be saying something special. 500 pages? In reality, the whole message you can say in 3 pages. Most of the books today are complete shtuyot, in anything, in all topics. Especially non-religious. So the Arizal says to his students, you have to minimize it. Okay. They minimize it, not enough. They minimize it, not enough. They minimize it, not enough. Eventually they minimize it something tiny, small. Here you go, for the Rav. Perfect. Unfortunately, it's not a chidush. What do you mean? It's Kabbalah. Yes. It's also exactly the same as Rashi. What do you mean? Rashi already wrote exactly the same words. Rashi wrote the same words 500 years before you. People think Rashi is like so for 5th graders. People think it's for little kids. They don't realize the wisdom of Rashi. The Ramban, Alav Shalom, said what Rashi did for the Gemara, give commentary, I can do. Why? Because it's intellect, it's wisdom. What he did as far as commentary on the Chumash, I can't do. Why? That's Ruach HaKodesh. Same generation. Says Ramban says Rashi, it's Ruach HaKodesh. It's not from this world. So why did you continue? Why did you continue? Ramban also made a commentary on the Torah. He says, you read the preface, you read the beginning of his commentary on the Torah. He says, I'm sorry. He's apologizing. I'm sorry I'm not worthy to write commentary that's as great or even at the level of the people that came before me. But I can't help it. I love the Torah and I must include my commentary. He's apologizing for the commentary. But the Kedusha that he wrote, all Chidushim. But people are like, no, I'm going to go to Kabbalah Center. No, I'm going to go learn Kabbalah. I'm going to go learn mystical Torah. Do you know how to keep Shabbat? Do you know how to keep family purity? Do you know how to be a decent human being? You know how to conduct business honestly? How to borrow money honestly? How to lend money honestly? How to give tzedakah honestly? Do you give maaser bichlal? Or you're still thinking maybe you don't have enough money to give maaser? You're still one of those people that thinks that maaser doesn't apply to you. It applies to everyone else except you. Hashem says, no, you're excluded. It's okay. It's okay. You make too much money to give maaser. You make too much money. It's not. Maaser is only for poor people. It's only for poor people that make $500 a week. They give maaser. It's easy for them. It's only $50. You, my son, you make $25,000 a month. You can't give maaser. You're crazy. It's too much. Maaser is only for poor people. So now, the question is, how did Rabbi Shlomkin Mizvil get to such a point of being a miracle worker? Of mamash reviving the dead? How do you get to such a point? Why is it? Because his father was such, or his mother was such? No. When he heard that the rich people are controlling the community, and he said, rich people, if you're not keeping Shabbat, if your children are not keeping Shabbat, we're not giving you aliyot. We're not letting you have an aliyah. In those days, by the way, an aliyah was very important. Today it's important, but not as it was 100 years ago. Today you get an aliyah. If you don't get it today, you'll get it tomorrow. It's not such a big deal. In those days, the big machloket, the big debates would be, oh, how come you didn't give me the third one? The third aliyah was the most significant. People will debate, oh, he got the third, I got the fourth, I got the big balagan. Then they said, no, really it's the sixth one is the most important. And really, it's the third. But they said, no, it's the sixth one. So then they said, at least they're going to argue only after the sixth one. They're not going to argue right away. So, but they said, oh, but he got 6, and he got 7, and he got this. Rabbi Shlomkin says, if you don't keep Shabbat, no aliyah for you. Your kid doesn't keep Shabbat, no aliyah. The rich people says, don't give us aliyah. We don't care. Don't give us aliyah. Keep your aliyah. Oh, no problem. Rabbi Shlomkin says, he went to the water, to the people that run the water companies. Not like today, you turn on a fountain and water comes out. In those days, you have to buy water. He goes to the people running the water company. He says, from now on, you're not selling water to the rich people. It's for the Rav. They're the number one customers. They take showers every day. They, they buy extra. They have parties. They have get-togethers. That's the number one customer. We're going to lose money for the Rav. It's 50% of the profits, 50% of the business. Because you're not allowed to send the water. Why? The Mechaleh Shabbat. There's no bracha in the money. Don't worry about the money. I promise you, all you will pay half of any losses you have. I'll vouch for it. How much money does he have? Nothing. Nothing. Why doesn't he have anything? He's 24 years old right now. He's an avrech. No one knows who he is, bichlal. The rich people continue. Do you want to sell us water? We'll buy from the goyim. Buy from somebody else. We don't need your water. Rabbi Shlomkin says, okay, you still don't want to do tshuva? Fine. Anyone's a mechalel Shabbat or has a child that's a mechalel Shabbat, we're not burying anyone of that family in a Jewish cemetery. Chevra Kadisha, not allowed to talk to them. Not allowed to talk to them. At that moment, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Many of the rich people came and said, okay, fine. We'll do tshuva, chatanu, avinu, pashanu, okay, water we can get from the goyim. Aliyot, we don't really care too much. We're not even keeping Shabbat. What do we care about aliyot? But I don't want to be bad. It's disrespectful for us to be buried with the goyim. Okay, kvod harav, chatanu, avinu, pashanu, except one guy. Except one guy. One guy says, take your cemetery, take your chevra kadisha, take what, I don't care. I'm not doing tshuva. Who's this guy? The richest one of all. Rabbi Shlomkin came to him and he says, you have to do tshuva. You have to do tshuva. You have to make sure that your kid keeps Shabbat. He says, I'm not doing nothing. Who are you? Don't tell me what to do. He says, listen, I promise you, if you don't do tshuva, you're going to pay for it, you're going to suffer. Because what are you going to do to me? He says, you're going to suffer. If you're not going to do tshuva, you're going to suffer. Test me. Day later, his son died. He wants to get Cheva Kadisha to bury him. We're not burying him. Not keeping Shabbat. We're not burying him. Okay, I'll find the Goyim to bury him. The Goyim don't want to bury him either. Nobody wants to bury him. He starts seeing his own son's body rot. You start seeing a body rot, you do tshuva. He calls a rabbi, for the rabbi, I'll do tshuva, whatever you want, please, bury my son. He brought all of his kids back to Jewish school, did tshuva, Baruch Hashem, everything worked out. But Rabbi Shlomkin put his life on the line. Before he became a miracle worker, he was willing to put his life on the line, Rabotai. A lot of people have things to say about Satmar. The Satmar movement today is based on Rabbi Yoel. Rabbi Yoel Misatmar was Ish Kadosh, Ish Emet. Unfortunately, some of his students broke off and are not really considered really his students. Like, for example, the Neturei Karta, Yimach Shemam V'Zichram, that hug the Iranians on TV and burn Israeli flags and so on. They say they're his students, but they're not connected to him at all in any way, shape, or form. All they are is a walking Chilul Hashem. Rabbi Yoel, on the other hand, was a Ish Kadosh. If people needed miracles, if people needed anything, he was available. There was no questions asked of whether it's possible or not. The question was, how fast can you get to Rabbi Yoel? How fast can you get to him? One time his driver got into an accident and unfortunately killed a non-Jew. And he knew this meant trouble. Why? The Goyim didn't give us a trial. As soon as a Jew killed a non-Jew, that's it, we're killing all the Jews. Immediately they arrested him and they were planning on lynching him. Rabbi Yoel called one of the local government members, who was a low-level government member. He said, go free him. He goes, yeah, Kvod Harav, listen, I know you're important, man, but it's not my position. I don't have I don't have that position. I'm not that high in the food chain. He goes, from now on you are. Excuse me? From now on you are. 5 minutes later, you got a phone call. Okay, you got the position. You're the new leader. He went in freedom. When you're Ish Kadosh, nature is only based on what you say. Why? Hashem decides to change the world based according to you. You don't get there without putting Mesirut Nefesh. You don't get there. One of the things that I heard about Rabbi Yaron is that it's actually in a few books. Maybe I don't know if people know the story or not. There was a very rich guy that Mamash wanted to go to war with him. His name was Izado. Izado inherited a very big meat business from his father and decided that money is more important than God. He decided to make the business not kosher food and decided to care less about Judaism in such an extent that he wanted to have a mixed dancing wedding. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, mixed dancing according to Judaism, according to the Torah, is 100% Gilui Arayot. What's Gilui Arayot? Gilui Arayot is one of the 3 sins that it's better off you die and not sin. It's better off you die and not sin. There's 3 of them. There is, if someone tells you, go kill another Jew, or we'll kill you. You die and not sin. Someone tells you, go worship an idol, or we'll kill you. You die and not sin. Someone tells you, go make a sex crime, go make a Gilui Arayot, or we'll kill you. Die and not sin. Gilui Arayot has different aspects of it. It could be actual intimacy with a woman that's not your wife. It could be intimacy with your own wife, but at a time that you're not allowed to be with her. It could be intimacy with a non-Jew. It could be an intimacy with a sibling. But it also can be even touching a woman that's not your wife. People think it's just the intimacy aspect of it. It's sex. It's not. It's even touching. So many people think that going to these mixed dancing weddings and bar mitzvahs and celebrations is fine. What's the big deal? Everyone does it. Well, the reality is that there's an enormous amount of sins in those places. Enormous amount of sins. To such an extent that there was one time a woman that asked Rav Nisim Yagen, alav shalom, to please come and give her a blessing. She's having a lot of problems. He came to her and he sees the house she lived in. He says multiple stories. Shtabach Shemo La'ad, Hashem gave her a house as big as the White House. Multiple stories, there's servants, there's this, there's that. But the woman miserable crying. And she says, my husband left me. My son's on drugs. And my daughter's about to marry a non-Jew. What did I do for Hashem to give me such a punishment? He says, Rav Nisim again says to her, he goes, I don't know what you did, but these are some things that could have caused it. Your daughter, you probably sent her to public school. So she met Carlos at the public school. Your son, you probably didn't send him to yeshiva either. So he met the drug dealer while he was doing something in the schoolyard. And your husband, maybe, you guys didn't keep Tarat Mishpacha. You didn't really care about Shlom Bayit. You didn't care about Torah. So you probably went to one of these mixed dancing dancing weddings. And he met his girlfriend over there and then he married her. She goes, Rabbi, are you a prophet? That's exactly what happened. He says, I'm not a prophet, but these are things that happen. The daughter went to public school, she met the non-Jew. The kid had nothing to do, no learning Torah, he met drugs. The husband met some other guy's wife at a wedding and danced with her. The next thing you know, he married her too. These are real stories, Rabotai. These are not fake stories. So Rav Yoel says to Izador, Areg ve'al ya'avor, dying, this is not going to happen. It's going to happen, Izador says. I'm going to have the mixed wedding dancing. He has the party. They come tell the Rav, for the Rav, he's having the party right now. The rabbi says, we're going there. Now, he goes to the party. He says to the Baal Habayit, Izador, he says, listen, I'm warning you. Shut down this party. Not shut down. Who are you? What are you going to do to me? I have all the money in the world. I have all the protection in the world. Who are you? Little rabbi. Who are you? He said, I'm warning you. He says, what are you going to do? He says, all I can tell you is, just like your business is, you're going to be. The guy says, get out of here. Who are you? He has his party. Unfortunately for him, it was the last party he ever had. Why? The next day, he went to visit his business. His jacket got caught in one of the machines, and he became like his meat, grinded. You don't get to that level just by reading Parashat Shavuot to people. You don't get. It requires mesirut nefesh, Rabotai. It requires sacrifice. You have to put yourself on the line telling people the truth.